You're watching KYTV. Welcome BBC viewers, because today is an historic day. Exactly 50 years ago, last September the 29th, saw the outbreak of World War II. So come with us now as we skip down memory lane and salute those wonderful war years.
Hello and welcome to those wonderful war years.
Yes, indeed, and of course a lot of television stations have been jumping on the bandwagon and making programmes about the war simply because it was 50 years ago.
And that seems as good a reason as any for us to do the same.
Absolutely.
And so on this show we'll be looking at wartime romances, Vera Lynn and 40s fashion.
And there's a chance to win a special KYTV souvenir piece of shrapnel by seeing how many words you can make out of D-Day.
But the Second World War wasn't all fun and games. There was a serious side to it as well. Some people, for instance, remember fighting that went on between Germany and the Allied forces.
But we won't be worrying too much about that, because at the moment we'd like to tell you a little bit about these fabulous uniforms. This one, for example, is extremely smart, and to be honest, I don't quite know why our boys don't still wear them today, Mike.
Well, it might have something to do with the fact that it's a German uniform you're wearing.
Well, I'm sure nobody would have noticed if you hadn't pointed it out, Bron. But anyway, let's... no matter, let's go to Anna for the weather. Anna.
Thank you, Mike. Well, as you can see, this is the German Nazi uniform, and this insignia on the arm would actually mean that I was a member of the elite Gestapo unit. Isn't that a lovely pattern? Anyway, today's weather. Now, down in the south, it's expected to be mostly sunny with occasional cloud. In the Midlands, you can expect some heavy rain later on. And up in the north, generally mild with occasional showers. Mike?
So, no chance of any hailstorms, Anna? Super. Great fun, yeah. Well, in the meantime, let's now go over and look at a man who our parents were fighting for. Or at least fighting to try and stop. Anyway, Martin Brown.
Yes, thank you very much, Mike. Well, as you can see, I'm in fact wearing the uniform of the Canadian Air Force, and of course they used to wear caps like this.
And what are the flaps over the ears for, Martin?
One of the most notable features are the flaps over the ears.
Yes, what are the flaps over the ears for?
I expect you want to know what they're for, Mike.
Yes, what are they for?
No? Oh, well, please yourself.
Anyway, Martin, I gather you're going to be telling us about how some of the people made do in various ways during the war.
Well, Mike, I'm going to be telling you how some of the people made do during the war.
So, Martin, have you still got that hat with the flaps over the ears?
No, but if you like...
No, please.
Of course, I mean made do and not made do.
Haven't got any hats with flaps over the mouth by any chance?
No, Mike. With the shortages of raw materials, all sorts of things were used to make things out of all sorts of things. I think I've said that. Never mind. So anyway, Mike, for instance, can you guess what this coat was made out of?
Well, far be it from me to jump to conclusions, but I would say it was a curtain.
Yes, it's very good. How did you guess that?
Well, because up until about 10 minutes ago, they were hanging up in my dressing room.
All right, then. What do you think? What do you think? Now, try hard on this one. What do you think this is?
It's an old tin bath.
Yes, that's right. And, of course, these were made up, in fact, out of the parts of old fighter aircraft.
Shouldn't it actually be the other way round?
I'm sorry.
Doodle bombs and Messerschmitts and B-2 bombs and battleships and Winston Churchill making speeches about fighting people on the beaches. It's all on KYTV!
Over the coming 30 minutes, we'll be referring to a lot of events during the Second World War. And to many viewers, they must seem rather confused. Who exactly was Archduke Ferdinand, for example? How important was the Battle of the Boyne? So, Colonel Bartlett here will explain in simple terms what exactly happened.
Yes, well...
In just a moment.
Who won World War II? If you want to find out, then stay tuned to KYTV, the station that's first with the news.
So, Colonel, you were saying?
Yes. Well, the events of World War II are nothing like as complicated as they're sometimes made out. First off, Germany invaded the Sudetenland, then Czechoslovakia, they then moved into Poland. At which point, Britain declared war, and Germany occupied France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. We then sent troops to Dunkirk, which were repelled, and so Japan invaded Manchuria. At which moment, the Americans stopped selling oil to Japan, and so they bombed Pearl Harbor. America now sent troops to Britain. Meanwhile, Britain invaded North Africa and attacked Italy from the south. So while the Allied forces were pushing the Germans back this way, and the Russians were pushing back this way, it all converged on a bunker in Berlin where Hitler shot himself. Simple, you see.
Good. Well, that seems to have covered just about everything. Including most of my uniform.
Yes, hardly any need to carry on with the programme, really, but since we do still have 25 minutes of the programme left to fill, let's battle on, because we've got a show that is absolutely Nazi-Soviet-packed with entertainment.
Well, I've been looking through the archives and I've found a lovely bit of film to set the scene. So, roll cameras and action. Boop-boop-be-doo. Now, Colonel, welcome. That must bring memories of the war years flooding back for you.
No, that was the Charleston. People were dancing that 15 years before the war started.
Yes, but they were both quite a long time ago, though, weren't they? Well, let's maybe have a look at another bit of wartime footage, then. It must have been very strange, everybody walking around in black and white.
What?
OK, then, Cecily Fenton, for you, obviously, the war must have been a time for letting your hair down, wasn't
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't, obviously, no.
No. We never let our standards slip.
No.
We never went out without a hat.
Oh.
Even if your head blew off, you would still find it with a hat on. But, of course, it was a great knees-up. Beer, sing-songs, killing Germans.
Yes.
Having sex with American soldiers. Well, it took your mind off the terrible bummings.
I'm sorry, that sounded a bit like bummings.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Martin. Anna.
Yes, it was 50 years ago to the day exactly, give or take a month or two, since the British people heard these words.
This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us.
Stirring stuff from Nev there, Anna.
However, it's not generally known that that speech would not have been possible had it not been for the supreme editing skills of the BBC engineer who recorded it, as this unedited version shows.
This morning, the British ambassador from Poland
in Berlin.
The British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government their troops
The final note.
a final note stating that unless we heard from Poland
From them?
from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from 11 o'clock.
From Poland?
From Poland,
War?
a state of war would exist between us. And now, a song.
I have to tell you now.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Poland.
Germany!
And now, a song.